Hi, Alan Stratton here from CostMatters.com. We've all been through sensitivity training to recognize, appreciate, and potentially take advantage of the diversity inherent in business and our workplaces. Another form of sensitivity training concerns activities we do every day in business. In early activity-based cost literature, we find discussions about the level concept. However, this early literature concerned product-related activities and omitted the critical customer dimension. Early literature described manufacturing and did not deal with service businesses. Once expanded to encompass the customer dimension and perhaps other significant dimensions, activity sensitivity may well be a better term that more easily describes what is going on. The early activity level concept included unit, batch, and product levels in a hierarchy to express how much more of a given activity is required with different production scenarios. A unit level activity is performed once or at a fixed rate for every output coming from the activity. Given that this terminology originated in a manufacturing environment, it is easy to say that a unit level activity is performed for each unit produced, such as an assembly operation. Much of manufacturing is done in batches to optimize setup and material movement. Setting up a die on a punch press is an example of a batch level activity. Regardless of the number of units in the batch, the press must be set up and adjusted for the batch. For an example of a product level activity, we move to product design and development. Once a product's design is completed, an unlimited number of units may be manufactured or served. Only when the design changes would the activity of designing the product be completed again. Then, once more, an unlimited number of units may be produced or sold. The final activity level has been called various names, including business sustaining. These activities do not vary with product volumes at all. And typical examples are corporate executives and corporate services required to respond to regulatory environments. This is as far as the early activity level concept went. But what about activities having a customer interface? Are these not just as important as production activities? Absolutely. Activity-based cost originated primarily in manufacturing organizations. Now, however, service organizations are rapidly recognizing the benefits of understanding their costs also. So, how would we expand this concept to customer-facing activities, whether for a product business or a service business? Are there not activities that must be performed with each customer order, service delivery, or shipment? Let's call this an order level, roughly equivalent to the unit or batch levels. What about customer acquisition and relationship management? It would seem that most sales activities vary more with the number of customers or their importance than with the actual products or services sold to a given customer. In many businesses, a salesperson may call or visit a customer many times before obtaining an order. In other businesses, a salesperson presents a product or service portfolio to the customer. The relationship is built around discovering customer requirements and then matching these with one or many of the vendor's offerings. So let's call this a customer level, roughly equivalent to the product level. After reviewing customer-facing activities, it should be easy to apply this concept to channels and other significant dimensions evident in a given business. Once this concept is understood, it is easy to see how powerful this is compared to strictly financial fixed and variable cost analysis. Here we have been observing how an activity is consumed. These observations are more operational than financial in nature, and they represent actionable classifications. On the other hand, and as a separate consideration, cost represents the resources required to perform an activity, and then may be either fixed or variable to the activity, depending on how these terms, fixed and variable, are defined at the time. Once understood, and because of their operational nature, these classifications are also useful in selecting appropriate activity drivers for activities. Modern business is much more than manufacturing. The service sector has grown significantly. Even the service components of manufacturing businesses have grown significantly. Just as sensitivity training helps to break old paradigms, examining the sensitivity of activities helps managers to better understand, manage, and exploit their operational advantage for better profitability. What's your experience with activity sensitivity in your company? Please share your comments below. When cost matters, profits soar. This is Alan Stratton from costmatters.com. Thank you.